Hello everyone and welcome to the map 10,000 feet. Here we will be taking a look at a highlight best of 3 series of professional StarCraft 2. Map number 1's Blue Terran here in the upper left corner, none other than Bunny. And their Zerg opponent spawning into the bottom right here, the red drones of Reynor. A best of 3 series. We have our hands and or drone claws upon today from the Team Liquid map contest, checking out some of the new maps people have come up with, potential, of course, additions to the ladder map pool in some point season when, of course, Blizzard remembers that the ladder map pool exists and needs it updated, I guess. We'll see when, if at all, that might happen, and of course what maps make it in there. I encourage you, check out the maps for yourself, take a look at the resources, see which ones you are excited about. I recently cast one on Mothership that I quite personally liked. We'll see how the rest of them fare. We should get through at least 2 today, I would say, with a best of 3. Guaranteed to have 2. SCV, Scout, Overlord, Scout, everything looking, I would say, normal so far. We might actually get to have a few minutes long match here. The initial expectations, I would say, pretty macro-oriented. I wouldn't expect either of them to do anything a bit too absurd. Not nearly as absurd as this floating orb that's just having a field day, okay? It's just doing its thing, will not be bothered, will not be disturbed by anything that comes across it. Like this one's so sad. It's just laying there. Okay, wait, why is this one special? But the other one just kind of sits there. That doesn't seem very fair. Not all strange metallic orbs created equal, it would seem. It needs a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a battery. Maybe it needs a pylon, a little bit of power. The Reaper entering the base, the TVZ dance we all know and love. Reynor will not be caught off guard though, saving that drone with the use of a spore crawler creation. Thus far, 0 drones actually lost. Some slight resources lost, of course, making said spore, but in the grand scheme, the grand scale, that is going to be minimal. No expectations of major damage from that. The Queens have to admire their steadfast resolve. They could have tried to step off the creep to deal with the Reaper, but instead they are focused on spreading said creep. Will eventually shoo the Reaper away, who has gotten not an insignificant amount of damage done to the hatchery. Reynor opting for a bit of a forward hatchery in this case, this map. There's a few options for the third base, really. You could mine out the minerals here from the natural. There are only 5 patches, but you have to break through at least 4 of them. You could just take the line third. I feel like this isn't unreasonable. Just spread a little creep. It's not too far off. Reynor's gonna opt for a forward third. Bit more potential aggression to get the creep a bit closer to the Terran side of the map. I worry about some of the harassment potential though, particularly the cliffs I'm seeing over on the left here. Rather prone to siege tanks, it might be. At the range, I mean, we look at this. God, if a tank sets up here, obviously the drones are in peril. I'm pretty confident it could reach that hatchery too. Just looking at the distance, I would take that bet. Okay, we bet 5 minerals on it, of course. Hellions regrouping. I swear I saw a Banshee. I did see a Banshee. Production tab does have 1 Banshee already done. Not really in the production tab anymore then. Gives a little bit of high ground vision, helps out the Marines reach that OV. Reynor's gonna see the Hellions rotating around. The Hellions likely just looking for creep killing opportunities. Nothing too, I would say, major. Really just trying to set up a future engagement. Of course, the more you can keep the creep in check, the better for the Terrans' eventual attacks. Queens doing their best to counteract their activities, their actions, laying down whatever tumors they can. The importance of that, I'm sure most of you, of course, chat, grandmasters know at this point, but for some that may not, heaven forbid a new player ever joins. The importance of that, keeping that creep in check. The Zerg, of course, can see everything going on the creep, also gets the important speed boost for most of their units, but that works, of course, directly against the Terran. The Terran, when you set up that attack, you want to make sure you're setting up right on that edge of the creep. That's where the attack starts, and then you slow crawl, slow push your way onto the creep, into the Zerg's territory, eventually reaching, of course, your target desired hatchery, no doubt. So having the creep be closer to the Terran is worse for the Terran. That attack starts closer to the Terran side of the map, has more distance to cross, not able to get things done as quickly. It's more time, more opportunity for the Zerg to shut it down. Instead, you have the Hellions can keep the creep in check, start the attack closer to the Zerg side of the map. Suddenly it's a lot less distance that you have to cross. Now it's looking like Bunny's gonna set up something that really just kind of undermines that entire conversation by going for this cliff spot I mentioned. Oh god, Reynor already evacuates the drones, gets them out of there. Show me the tank range. It can definitely reach that hatchery. The Banshee will provide the vision across the gap. No medevacs here to support. These Marines have stim, but that stim is going to be rather lethal without any type of medevac help. A couple of tanks, they need the vision. This one can reach it, but he needs vision. Banshee can help out with that. Queens need to do their job of trying to keep the Banshee at a bay. Very successful, might I add. Medevac shows up. We'll get some Marines across. That'll provide the vision without being so susceptible to the Queen's. Reynor, I'm not seeing any real setup to deal with this. Even if Zergling speed, really? Reynor was trying to go for roaches. A Zergling free play for this morning, it would seem. Oh, that's going to work out in Bunny's favor substantially. The forward third, like I was mentioning, yeah, a bit more aggression potential. You get the creep going towards the Terran side of the map. I mean, look at how far the creep made it before Bunny, of course, destroyed everything. The creep, it was already down to here, right where the Terran's stuff is. So you can see Reynor's goal. He was trying to set that up, but this hatchery, a bit more vulnerable, really needed to spread some creep along the left side as well, just for defensive purposes, it would seem. Well, Reynor's got plenty of Zerglings now. 78 Zerglings, suddenly. Has the hive completed. 17 Banes on the way. We've even got a stray Viper. Victor, the Viper. The only one of his kind. Will drink from the hatchery. Ready his tools, his clouds of blinding, his tongue of abducting. Yeah, don't ask about that one. That's an awful image, isn't it? Siege tanks are going to set up nicely again in range of that hatchery. Bunny with a nice pre-spread here. There are some Banes. They have Bane speed, but Reynor just not wanting to set it up or commit just yet. Not wanting to at least roll into the sieged up tank position. What is that? An Artosalope? It's a Tastalope. Here. Critters. Local flora and fauna. Reynor just more than happy, more than, well, I wouldn't say happy, at least okay with surrendering the bases. A second Viper on the way. Poor Victor will no longer be unique. But that's okay, because more Vipers tend to be more effective than less Vipers. At least, that's the goal. That's the theory. Okay, this position's a problem. Every Terran player's like, no, I don't see any problem. Yeah, I know. Every Terran out there's like, what problem? There's no problem here. Everything's working perfectly fine, as intended. Certainly causing some issues. Reynor going with some pretty extensive losses so far. Not a huge amount of losses, just more by comparison. Losing 3 hatches already. They're both maxed out. Reynor seems ready to do a bit of work, try to get something done. That is a lot of Marines. Blinding Cloud goes out onto the tanks. Marines not pulling back, not splitting just yet enough. The Bane's gonna roll into the biopacks. Will be rather successful. I'm not sure it's enough to actually keep going, though. It's just roaches left over. Marines, Bio, Theron, of course, trades very well up against Roach Ravager. Even if Bunny takes the biles, okay, even if he just walks into the corrosive biles uncaring and unfazed, the bio army still stands. Not without some losses. Yeah. Did he lose the command center? No. No, there wasn't actually any major loss on the economic front. It was mostly army. Reynor has a little bit of a drone lead. They're going to try to replace all of that. Not nearly enough larva to just fully remax it out. Instead, it appears to want to go up a little bit in the tech as well, going for the Ultra Cavern. Will it survive, though? Will it get enough done? A Zergling run by, backstab, denies a little bit of mining. Bane's trying to connect with the bio. Tank destroyed by said biles. Another wave trying to morph in here. We've got Vipers. Vipers spotted. Can we get Blinding Cloud? Parasitic Bomb. The medevacs are really low on energy, actually. I'm not sure a Parasitic Bomb would be quite worth it. Cut the spread. Bunny spreading those Marines like butter on toast. Okay, it is going pretty well. Reynor needs to buy just a little bit more time for the Banes. Might try to roll in, says it is go time, pulling the trigger. The Marines stepping forward, a bit of a blunder, I would say. Blinding Cloud shutting down the tanks. Reynor gets most of the connections he needed, will be able to take out the Terran army. Blinding Cloud's really coming in handy, shutting down most of the siege tanks there. Reynor, I don't think really should commit just quite yet to that. Needs another wave of the reinforcements. The economy's what's hurting a bit right now. 3 Ultras on the way. Chitinous about halfway done, which means they will be able to wake up with a bit of durability. Extra armor in there. Speaking of armor, Reynor's almost done with +3 Carapace, so these Ultras, when they get out, they are going to be absolute nightmares for the Marines to deal with. We'll see if it even gets that far. Bunny here at the front door again, not maxed out, but not wanting to sit idle. The Baneling. The depots come down. Reynor finds one of the connection, takes out about half the SCVs, 8 losses there. The Creep Tumor suffers a terrible fate. The Ultra Viper Wombo combo +3 armor is done. The Blinding Cloud keeps the tanks out of the fight. The Ultras doing their work up against the Marines. Things are looking pretty good, I'll say, for the Zerg. And Bunny would agree. Reynor, despite taking what I was describing as a surprising amount of damage through the middle of the match there, manages to live long enough, gets the army together, finds the engagements, will take map number 1. Map number 2 in the series shall be Old Republic here. The upper right corner belonging to the victor from map number 1, the Red Zerg. Can they keep that momentum going? It is Reynor. Or will the Terran here in the bottom left find their footing, get that siege mode in place, and not give up? It is Bunny. Not quite how I expected map number 1 to go. I mean, initial expectations, I would say macro, of course, type of game. Bit of a longer match. I quite enjoyed that. But what I mean, seeing the amount of damage it felt like Reynor was taking. Reynor was just kind of losing hatcheries left and right for the little bit in the middle. Bunny found that cliff spot, used it to great success. But not finding the kill, not going for the throat enough, it would seem. Reynor bouncing back, getting a lot of Baneling connections, even getting the Ultras involved there. I'm going to say worked out pretty well. What a nice fountain. I haven't really looked at this map. I haven't spent a lot of time on this one. This is a lovely little thing. So elegant. Okay, so opulent. What is it? Protoss type of map here. The other thing I think is really cool about this one, where is it? Oh, here it is. Look at this, guys. Okay, I don't know if it's like petrified, it might just be a bone skeleton, but look, it's an Ultralisk. Okay, Ultralisk skeleton here on display. Maybe if we can get a unit somewhere near it, we can actually see it all lit up. But either way, there's some neat things about this map. Not nearly as detrimental to potential hatcheries, no surprise sudden cliff area for Terrans to exploit, but we'll see how that affects their mid-game type of choices. Thus far, everything has been exactly the same. Bland, boring TVZ you have come to know and appreciate. I still think it's the best matchup. Probably the best matchup to both watch and play. I'd probably pitch my vote for that. You let me know in the comment below. Comment opportunity. Good conversation there. The best matchup. What do you think? If you want to break it down to, best matchup to play, best matchup to watch, if you want to just throw one in particular, your favorite one, because maybe you don't play, perfectly understandable. Just let me know your thoughts. I would say I'd pitch my vote for TVZ. I think that classic humans versus bugs always just kind of resonates with people. The gameplay, of course, works out too. Protoss has a lot of tricks and things up their sleeve that make the gameplay a bit, we'll go with annoying at times, but at the end of it, we still love them. We still play the game. Reaper, not finding a lot of opportunities, 0 kills on the Reaper. Reynor not losing, hardly worth anything. Only 6? How do you only lose 6 minerals? Wait, what is that, an extractor? I think that might be an extractor. I think it's an extractor cancel. Managing to only turn one drone into one extractor and having to cancel is pretty good. Not a bad payday. Third base, placed in a much safer location compared to last round. We'll see if that will work out in the Zerg's favor a bit more. A Bunny already changing things up slightly, going for a Liberator. I like the decision. Have that initial unit come out and do a little bit of harassment. Decent potential. Do we have stim? No, not starting stim up just quite yet. Instead, getting that third sat on location. We'll start to mine, of course, that SCV. What do we have it instead of drone? I wanted to say it'll start droning it up, but SCVing it up. Employment opportunities on the rise in Bunny's army, I suppose, is how we could probably word that. 6 Hellions. Liberator is done. We'll follow the Liberator. Liberator, the new thing here, the fancy gal for map number 2. Let's see where they go. Going for the natural, it looks like. Try to set up shop. Yeah, I mean, not really a lot of help with the Ultralisk skeleton there, but we see what it is. We see what it's supposed to be. I like it. I think it's a neat thing. Neat little map decoration. Oh, there's some over here, too, off the other side of the map. Like I said, I haven't spent a lot of time on this one. I haven't really explored it. Set up shop here behind the Evo chamber. Gets one shot onto the Queen. The Hellions dive onto the third base. Reynor, though, with a quick Evo chamber construct is going to make it minimal drone losses. Liberator setting up again. We'll actually get the Queen. Get a drone for their troubles. Will they make it out? They will, just barely. 9 health. That is quite nice to see for the Terran. Zergling, run by, attempted. Hellions, quick on the draw, will be able to deflect that. Reynor not finding any SCV losses. Lost a Viking, or killed a Viking at some point. I'm going to blame the Queens on that one. Zerglings return home. Hellions, likewise, going across here. What are they both kind of going for at this point? Reynor going similar setup. I see the Bane nest. Did we skip the Roach Warren this time? He skipped the Roach Warren. He's like, just enough of those roachy shenanigans. Okay. That was a good surround on Reynor's part, picking off half of the Hellions, not losing a whole lot there. Zerglings appear to be more than willing to chase. Gets the Reaper. We'll let the other 3 Hellions go, let them get out. Bunny, of course, not wanting to, I would say, keep most of the Hellions alive is going for that very standard, very normal bio-tank type of setup. He's got the 2 tanks. It's nice if you can leave the Hellions alive to help out, support with those. If the armory is done by this point, you turn them into Hellbats and make them... Yeah. So see, how different do you think this is going to go if there were 8 Hellbats instead of 3? That's a big difference. Okay. The Zerglings here. The Bane Nest was done, but I don't think Bane Speed... No, Bane Speed's not even halfway done, so... Reynor's going to have to try to get this done with a decent flank instead of just rolling in. Reynor started to chew apart the rocks. 1 tank shot from Bunny's like, no, bad Zerg. Reynor gets some Zerglings into position here, finds a group of reinforcements though. We'll pick off the siege tank, pick off the Marines, take a few of the losses. I'm not so sure about that one. Oh, he'll do it. He'll force away the Zerglings. Okay, leaving the tanks unguarded, though, it gives me a bit of a panic. Like, leave something there. Even just the Hellbats, maybe. The tank's actually moving up, pushing a little bit forward here. Reynor. Ugh. Oh, the medevac. Quick pickup on the tank. We'll save that. Bunny cannot keep bleeding off the siege tanks. Well, this one is set up so far. Queens ready for the defense. Bane Speed is done, so they will be able to roll in there. 3rd tank shows up, gets dropped out of the medevac. Bunny with a nice pre-spread. Getting everything together. The initial group of Marines try to go for the hatchery. A lot of Zerglings here and ready, though. Reynor. Reynor's got Burrow done. Interesting choice. The hatchery still alive somehow. Reynor decides to commit the Lings into more aggression than saving the defense, it would seem. Pick off those reinforcements. Bunny, not too sure about where he really wants to go, where he really wants to push. This hesitation, I think, might end up coming back to bite him. The hatchery, still very low, but still standing. God, that's a lot of Baneling. 25 Banes at the ready. Starting to roll. Reynor. Reynor doesn't seem like he wants to completely commit to this. Another tank shows up. That's going to be in range of the hatchery. The clock is ticking. Reynor decides to let the clock get destroyed. Sack the hatchery, buy a bit more time perhaps. Might be able to deal with the army. Bunny's getting a bit, let's say, happy sitting onto the creep like this. Not really any opportunity for flanking, it would seem. Reynor not wanting to set anything major up for that. Starting to roll a few things over onto the right side. Reynor's hoping Bunny just commits into the ramp, but not caring anymore. Says it's go time just before 2-2 is done for the Terran. Will clear the siege tanks, at the very least. Was that a burrowed Bane I saw? We'll have to go back, take a look at that. It was only one. It wasn't enough to kill them, the Banes. There's just so many Banelings. Reynor doesn't even have to have the best of connections, apparently. Bunny taps out, losing the army, not going to try to keep any sort of momentum from getting the hatchery. Just taps out, says good to go. Have a great day, thanks. Done fighting Zerg, can't handle it anymore. Reynor's like, great, sounds good to me too. So there you have it, 2-0 win for our TVZ today. If you enjoyed, be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day.